Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Gandeeva. So back on Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. So we got Georgia Tycom Scribe, Mr. Story. This time we are covering our first deck from DZ Set 2, and that would be DZ Set 2 Dragon Empire Gandeeva. So pretty much what I've decided is I'm going to do all of the decks that get old support first, because most of the new stuff tends to come at the later end because they're being supported via anime reveals. So yeah, let's go get the start and see what we got, because honestly Gandeeva has some nice support cards. I wish this was more of a Eugene deck profile, but we'll take what we can get. First of today we have our Energy Generator, the new card that pretty much every deck runs because it's required. You may have one Ride Deck Crest in your Ride deck, as it is a Ride Deck Crest. Auto Ride Deck, when you would ride, put this card into your Crest zone. If you want second Energy Charge 3, then continue to met 10 energies at the beginning of your ride phase, Energy Charge 3, then act once per turn by Soul Energy Bossing 7, Soul Bossing 7, draw a card. All are pretty solid because there's only one card in the deck that actually costs energy, meaning you constantly are able to almost play for free every turn, and if you really need to spend 7 to get an extra hand card, you can, though the deck gets enough hand cards as is, but it is a nice option to have. And I don't know why, but now I'm going to like theory mode that the fact that it says you may only have one Ride Deck Crest in your Ride deck, I don't know why that tells me that there's going to be another like new energy generator that's going to do something different, but going to make you want to decide which one is better. Either way though, nice card, free draw, Energy Charge 3, that's all I have to say about Energy Generator. Then of course we have our starter in Scarlet Flame Recruit Barkesh, grade 0 boost, 5k shields, 6k base, auto remote applying for a second draw card, standard starter, spell free draw if you go second. None of the battle line really requires Barkesh, so you can run any Dragon Empire starter, though I do like Barkesh because A, if it's the theme of the Scarlet Flame crew, but at the same time he also has a bow and arrow. For those that don't know, bow and arrows are one of my favorite weapons of choice, so I'm obviously going to run Barkesh if not for that reason alone. And of course we have our triggers, for over trigger and Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Drag Veda, grade 0 boost, 50k shield, 5k power, over trigger, moment trigger in your deck, and as the trigger moves that card, draw a card, choose one of your it gets supposed to move for the turn, and if you reveal it during your attack, activate its additional which you can do, choose one of your vanguards, and stand it. All around pretty solid, because not only do you get that free 1 million to draw regardless if you damage check it or drive check it, but if you drove check it, you get an extra vanguard attack. And I need to tell you this deck almost can consistently get 5 attacks on board, 4 of which coming from rear guards, so being able to get 6 attacks in total, one of them being a restanding vanguard who possibly has double crit, most likely has double crit for both of them, is pretty deadly. I'm not gonna lie, if you see the over trigger this when you hit grade 3 and you have the double crit, you are probably winning that turn, or you have probably guaranteed you'll win that turn. All around Drag Veda is very powerful, it acts for more vanguard attacks. Personally, I feel like this is the over trigger you should run. You don't really need a bar, you get plenty enough numbers as is. You don't need Vault Up because you already get enough rear guard multi-attack as is. You're going to want Drag Veda for the vanguard pressure of extra criticals. Either way, one of Drag Veda is just nice to have if you pull it from drag checks. Then we have our normal triggers. We want 3 copies of Flare Veil Dragon, grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 4k base, continues guard circle, punch vanguard to grade 3 or greater, 5k shield. So 10k shield, nice to have. It's a draw trigger, so it helps increase the hand, and it's just 10k shield, so it helps against like early game rush if you go second, so your opponent gets like grade 3 first. You can run fronts. I think personally fronts do work better because you already get a lot of numbers, and you might as well add more numbers on top of it, especially because again the deck gets a lot of hand cards as well. The reason why I choose to run draws is because when I wasn't running draws, I just kept bricking, and then suddenly I put in 3 draws. Look at that, all the bricks stop. So I'm gonna run 3 Flare Veil. If you want to run any other trigger over this, that's fair, but I like not bricking, so 3 of Flare Veil. Then we have a total of 8 crits, 4 Conduct Spark Dragon. This can really be any crit. I just chose Conduct Spark because I like him. Grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 5k power. And then of course we have 4 copies of Burning Foil Dragon for worst case scenario soul charging aspects. Grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 4k power, critical trigger, auto regard, then add a booster, put it to soul, choose a mute, it gets 50k for the turn. You only have one card in this deck that actually, I stand corrected, 2 cards in this deck that actually soul blast. The good one is restricted to 1, so that automatically tells you who that is. The other one's the new card, the reason why we're making this deck profile. But either way, being able to send itself to soul if you get into soul problems is very nice to have, and not to mention the fact we have a total of 8 crits to apply more pressure with the technically restanding rear guards or newly placed rear guards, while the vanguard also has a crit. So just like to run 8 crits for pressure. And then we have 4 copies of our heal and White Light Dragon Parasolas, grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 5k power, standard heal, and that's about it. You can really run any heal. I just choose to run Parasolas because I think he's cute, and since Eugene had this and I see this as like Eugene part 2 Electric Boogaloo, I choose to run Parasolas with it. You can run the counter heals if you want to. Personally, I don't like the counter heals too much because I feel like they're too situational, being fluctuating 10 to 25k shields, so I'd rather have a consistent 15k, but do as you wish. Then move on to our grade 1s. We have 4 copies of our PG and Spark Projector Dragon, grade 1 boost, 0 souls, k base, continuous sentinel. You may have up to 4 sounds in deck once put on guard circle. Choose one mutes. It cannot be hit on battle, and if your hand has 2 more cards in it, choose a card from your card to stand PG. Nothing too special about it. It basically means if this and only one other card is in your hand, place it on guard circle. You don't have to scar, which is great because that means you can be as aggressive as you want in the early game, and sometimes you do. Because if you can push your opponent to 4 before you get to grade 3, especially if you're going first and you can guaranteedly get the 5 cards in bind zone, you've pretty much auto-won because your opponent can't really stop you. And even if they can survive your first grade 3 turn, they're most likely not surviving the second. So, you know, being able to defend against a big counterattack because they know they're dead if they don't kill you is very nice to have. You can really run any PG between Twin Buckler, this, and the new one that is a promo that's also coming out in the Fated Clash first booster set. I don't remember what his name is. I think it's like Gojo or something. It's a Dragon Monk. That's all I remember. But either way, they all have the same skill. You can run either PG. I just choose to run Spark Rejector Dragon because it came out closer to the time of Gandeeva's release. I'm pretty solid for a Spark Rejector. And we have 4 copies of Scarlet Flame Artillery Soldier R Sharp. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, auto rear guard. When it attacks or boosts, it gets with 2k power to on the battle for each card in your bind zone. And if you have 10 or more, if it got 10k or greater from this skill, retire that unit at the end of the battle. The effect is mandatory. So the downside is, regardless if you want it to or not, it's going to proc the power and it might die at the end of that battle. On the upside, if you bricked or your opponent is not giving you enough stuff to retire, this thing will just get the power off the stuff in your bind zone. And if it is not 10 cards, then it is not going to retire itself, meaning you constantly have a high-powered booster. All around, R Sharp is a very solid grade 1. It adds numbers, and it just adds pressure that possibly stays on the board for a long time. And even if when it gets retired, it just opens up your rear guard, and it gives you more drop zone fodder to bind later. R Sharp is all around a very solid grade 1, is at 4 for that reason alone. Then we have 4 copies of Scarlet Flame Bow Soldier Bolson, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base. I think this card pissed off the entirety of their Nirvana player base in existence because of its skill. Auto backward rear guard circle. When your Vanguard, Gandeeva, and its card name attacks, if your bind zone has 3 or more cards in it, bind this card face down, counter charge 1. The reason why this pissed off a lot of people is because I think it's either set 9 or 10 was Gandeeva's debut set, and this card came out either within that same set that it was debuted in or within the set after, and it was a countercharger for a deck that didn't need a countercharger, where at that point people were asking for a countercharger for Nirvana since set 4. So like 6 sets later, we still don't have a countercharger for Nirvana, and yet Gandeeva, either upon debut or literally the set after, automatically gets a countercharger they don't need. Either way though, being able to up increase the bind zone just gets free CB is just nice to have, and it allows to open up rear guards if there were ever skills that required you to call to open rear guard circles. All around, Bosun is a very solid grade 1. It is nice for combos if only I used him properly and stopped calling him behind Vanguard Circle, but you live and you learn for Bosun. Then we have 4 copies of our renewed grade 1 Flare Bow Dragon, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, auto and place on rear guard circle during the main phase. If you have a grade 3 get a Vanguard Gandeeva in its card name, by counterbossing 1, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and kill it. And if you do not retire rear guard, look the top 3 cards of your deck to up to 1 grade 3 list unit card from among them, call it to rear guard circle, and discard the rest. All around pretty solid because not only does it fill up the drop zone for possible Gandeeva bind targets, but it either kills an opponent's rear guard, or it gets you a rear guard of your own, so you are still plussing more to board, and possibly that unit can get you more bind cards. All around, Flare Bow is a very solid, Flare Blow is a very solid grade 1. Like I said, rear guards or retire, and fills up drop zone. It's just nice to have, and the only downside is it's in CB, but this is why we have Bosun, ladies and gentlemen, so for Flare Bow, just good grade 1. Then we have the last grade 1 in the deck, 1 of in the right deck, none in the main deck, of Scarlet Flame Bow Soldier Archrid. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, continues Vanguard Circle, opponent's Vanguard. Your opponent has one less rear guards. When you would ride to Scarlet Flame Bow General Diapano from your ride deck, you can ride those guarding card from your hand, so free ride deck. And then auto and road upon, if your opponent has 2 or more rear guards, you may call this card to rear guard circle. So either your opponent rushes you because they get the first attack and they just want to kill you. In that case, you superior call Acrid and then just kill their board in response, or you just rush them back down to 4. Or they don't play rear guards because they're afraid their board's going to get killed or they don't have anything to play, and then you get free ride deck. All around, Acrid is a very solid grade 1. I do love how he has 2 alternate skills. I do normally prefer grade 1s and grade 2s with, rear guard or guard skills, but again, considering the fact that he has 2 alternate ride deck skills, I am willing to give him the pass for this one. Also, he has a bow, so there's that. So 1 of in the ride deck of him. And move on to our grade 2s. 4 copies of the worst version of our best rearguard grade 3 that was sadly banned, and I will forever be upset about that because I really loved his name. And that was Scarlet Flare Bow General Rugant. This is not the one that was banned. The other one was the one that was banned. Or not banned, limited. Grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when placed on rearguard circle if you have a Vanguard Gandeeva and card name. Card boss when choose opponent's rearguard, murder it. If you not kill something, draw a card, choose a card from your drops and bind it. So again, good, because Gandeeva's skill always bound you a card face down whenever you would kill something. So the fact is that with Rugant, if you either kill something and you guarantee to get the bind off Gandeeva, or you don't kill something and you get a draw to possibly replace him or keep it going, and then you still get the bind anyways. Like, Bushy knew what they were doing when they made Gandeeva. It's just that Gandeeva was so readily made, it kind of took over the meta for a little bit. Either way, Regent is a very solid grade 2 to have. I do like him, I just don't like him compared to the one that I actually did love, and I didn't love him because it was good. I just found his name really funny, and he just so happened to be, in my opinion, the best card in the deck, which I don't find coincidence that he's the one that was freaking limited to 1, but it is what it is for Regent. I don't hold anything against him, but I wish it was him that got hit and not the other one. And move on to 4 copies of Dragwood Alfakar. I don't care if that's how you pronounce it. That's how I see it, and that's how I will choose to pronounce it to the end of the days. Grade 2 and set 5 Kashield Tank. Base auto rear guard when your Vanguard with Gandeeva and its card name attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. Counterboss 1 bind itself face down, like top 5. 2 to 1 grade 3 as unit card from them. Called to rear guard circle and shuffle your deck. Okay. A lot of people, I remember this came out, said it's going to be difficult or like it wouldn't be consistent trying to get 2 of these on board at the same time. That never happened to me. Yeah. I pretty much only ever did it once a game, but you only ever need to do it once per game because your opponent either died to it or like they guaranteedly died to that instance as a domino effect on the later turns. Either way, Alfakar is pretty great. It increases buy-in zones, like possibly proc off Gandeeva on its own. It gets you more attacks, which get more numbers from Gandeeva. It's just all around an amazing grade 2, and it's one of our 2 ways to get multi-attack in this deck. It's just really nice. 4 of. Then we have 4 copies of Dragwood of Durkham. Grade 2 and set 5 Kashield 10k base, our last new card. All when placed on rearguard circle, we have a grade 3 regular Vanguard with Eugene or Gandeeva in his card name. Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 3. Oh, look at that. The exact same amount of energy you get at the start of your turn. Almost like you can use this thing for free, especially because our only other Soul Blaster was hit. But, anyways, skill, Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 3. Choose an opponent's rearguard, kill it, and if you do not kill something, draw a card, and he'll get auto rearguard once per turn at the end of this unit attacked into a Vanguard. So not the end of your Vanguard attack. Choose one of your former rear guards. It could be itself and stand it until end of turn. And then continues rear guard. If you play normal this turn, this unit gets boosted. This is that effect is the sole reason why I run this. But anyways, cool. So he's the only one of the Gandeeva line so far that doesn't actually want to kill rear guards because everyone else can do it and still get benefits out of it, such as Regent and, Sturgana. And then himself will just get a different skill if they have no rear guards, which can get stand. And the best part is that your opponent doesn't have to be a grade 3. So while this one is technically superior to some extent, it does cost a CB, but it does get you, I guess, more cards and binds, always therefore makes more numbers. But this one over here works while your opponent's at grade 2 as well. So pretty nice, pretty soft for that one, and it can possibly game boost. But the important part to note is here, yeah, this effect, the fact it can stand itself. Either way, very solid support card. I like Durkham a lot. I think he's cool. 4 of. Can't wait to run him in Eugene when Eugene eventually gets a new grade 3 or grade 4. I will die on this hill. I truly believe that by the end of DZ's the series, they will actively give Eugene a new form. I truly believe that with every fiber of my body, and I will wait this one out on that hill. And then we have our last grade 2, one of in the red deck, none in the main deck of Scarlet Flame, Bow, General, D-Panel. I remember when I first saw him, I did not like his art. Second time I saw him, I don't know why I thought he was fat. And third time, aka that now, I don't know why, I just like looking at his art. I think he looks really cool now. And he's grade 2 and 5k Shield Tank. Base auto when it's wrote upon by unit Gandeeva's card name. Choose one of your Vanguards, and that cost of that unit's original act ability is reduced by counterboss 1 until the end of the turn. Okay, I will say this. He does just say a unit with Gandeeva. If they dare give Gandeeva a different form before they give Eugene a different form, I will riot because Eugene deserves it. But anyways, cool. Being able to make a Vanguard that doesn't need to be free on the first grade 3 turn is all around pretty solid, especially when Zed main grade 3 could possibly kill a board in 5 seconds. Yeah, D-Panel is a good grade 2 for that ability alone. It's a one of in the riot deck. Then we have our grade 3s. 2 copies of a card like everyone was running with Gandeeva, and the reason why I didn't is because A, I saw it as a Eugene card, and B, I just saw it as unnecessary because the deck already drew enough cards. After the Sturgana hit, it definitely doesn't, but, and this is why I run Best Harvest, but to be more specific, I only ran Best Harvest to run this, because for those of you that don't know, I hate running cards that I cannot use the full ability of, and because I wasn't playing Best Harvest in the original version, I was playing no normal orders, meaning I could not use this thing's skill unless I chose to run Best Harvest, or or the one that kills a column, and I'm not about to waste a CB on a column killer. So I run Best Harvest simply because Durkham is in the deck. I promise you, if Durkham was not in the deck, I would not be running Best Harvest. We can literally go, I think I even said it on camera, and when it was revealed, that I was only going to run Best Harvest just to run Durkham. I think I legitimately said that on camera, or if I didn't, I said like 5 minutes after. Anyways, Best Harvest, choose one Vanguard, so end of turn it gets auto Vanguard. When your opponent's rear guard's retired during your main phase, you may draw, or you have to draw a card, grade 3 normal order. So cool. It helps increase the hand. Like, it's not bad. It's not. I just didn't like using it, and it's what it is. It's here for me to use Durkham. That's how I see it. Everyone else, it's draw power. Me, I use it so I have reasons to run a grade 2 that does not go against my morality. 2 of Best Harvest. It's dumb, I know. I don't care. I move on to our normal units. 1 copy of the hands down best supporting grade 3. Okay, well, the new Blackmire card says otherwise, but one of the best supporting grade 3s that I've ever seen, who sadly got hit, which granted was well deserved, but I will still forever be pissed out about this. Scarlet Flame Bow General Sturgunna, or as his original name was, Still Gunna, as in I'm still gonna kick your ass. So anyways, grade 3 to 9% 13k base. Auto when placed on rearguard circle, you have a Vanguard of Gandeeva and his card. Soul Boss 1, bind another rearguard face down. Choose opponent's rearguard, retire, and if you not retire something, draw a card. Choose a card from draw something, bind it face down. This card is stupid because the second it's placed, it's Soul Blast 1 gets you another bind, and it gets rid of an opponent's rear guard, and then Gandeeva binds you another card. But if the opponent doesn't have a rear guard, not only do you still get the bind from his cost, but you also get to bind the card that you just soul blasted, basically. So if you didn't have any cards in drop zone before, which did happen to me early on with Gandeeva, you can bind that card you just soul blasted, and then you get a draw. And you could just bind the card you soul blasted anyways for regular Gandeeva. Like, Sturgunna was just busted for a common. He was a common. He was busted. And I don't like the fact that he's limited, but I understand it, because otherwise he's just broken. So one of him, I'm gonna run him as much as I can because I think he's really cool, and I also love the joke, still gonna kick your ass, but man, still gonna kick your ass. Still gonna kick your ass if you see him at all. One of. Then we have our last card in the deck, 3 of in the main deck, 1 of in the ride deck, of our main grade 3, Scarlet Flame, Martial Dragon, Gandeeva. So grade 3, 200% 13k base, auto Vanguard. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your turn, choose a card from your drop zone and you may bind it face down, and then continues Vanguard. During your turn, all your following units get plus 2k for each face down card in your bind zone. If your bind zone has 5 or more cards face down, gets an extra critical. So all around pretty solid because that ability works regardless of your opponent's at grade 3 or not. And let me just walk you through. If your opponent gives you any rear guards at all, in this version of the deck, you are probably going to hit 5. If they did not give you rear guards at all prior to him being limited, you were probably going to hit that, because they can CB starve you and lock you out of Rugant, but they can't soul starve you and lock you out of Sturgunna. That's probably another reason why they limited Sturgunna. I remember the actual reason. I just like to always think as like headcanon, that's the other reason why they banned him. Simply because like there was no actual way to stop him because he auto-filled his own cost, while, you know, Rugant at least was CB starvable. So that's my reasoning for why they banned Sturgunna. I know that's not the full reason. I know there is an actual reason. I could go find it if I really cared, but I don't. So there it is. Anyways, a free 2k and a crit, really easy to proc off, and then act Vanguard once per turn. Crown Boss 1, or the first turn you play it, thanks to D-Panel over here, it's free. Choose a 5 of your opponent's rear guards with different grades. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Retire all the chosen units with the same grade as any of the revealed cards. Shuffle your deck, and if you retired 1 or less, draw a card, choose a card from your drop zone, and bind it face down. Now, if I remember correctly, the official ruling on this is every time something's retired during this, you do get that bind. So if you kill 3, you do bind 3 from drop. All around, very solid. 2 of its skills are free. 1 of them is almost inherently a front trigger and a crit trigger combined, and that's really annoying in a deck that can get at least 5 attacks consistently at every grade 3 turn. Not to mention the fact it just gets free bind out the wazoo, and it can just kill a board for free on your first grade 3 turn if you get lucky enough, and if your opponent gave you a board to kill in the first place. Gandeeva was such a good grade 3. Honest to God, like, thinking about it over and over again, it makes me wish that instead of making Gandeeva and Solarian, what they did is instead just made them new Hexa and new Eugene, and then just went with that, because I feel like Eugene, and then we just like removed this little bind thing, or maybe we could say like Eugene went a step beyond and started binding people's rear guards. That would have been cool. But like, I don't know. I think he's cool. I just feel like I'm a Eugene boy. That's why I'm against Gandeeva. Either way, cool grade 3, nice skill 4 of. And that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed all around. It's very nice to play. I will say this: it is a lot more fun than before. Because for those of you who don't know, I don't really like decks that feel oppressive. Like I will play decks that feel oppressive, but I will play it in the most aggro way possible. If you want an example of this, watch me play any mill deck. You may think I'm an asshole, but watch me play any mill deck. The most control I do when I play a mill deck is arbitrarily send your ace cards to a drop zone after factors of RNG and nothing else. Like quite literally, if you want a fun mill player to play against, you play against me because I don't fucking control the game. Like I just like to have fun with it. So but you know, Gandeeva being less controlling, sadly thanks to the Stargana hit, feels a lot more fun because it's a lot less, I guess, constrictive and beating the crap out of your opponent. I still hate it because I missed my main grade 3, but you know, it is what it is. Either way though, I was gonna hear it. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, don't forget to switch, and I'll see you all next one. Don't forget to send up your vanguards.